So let's go right into the enhancement that we made. So the first big thing that we included in this release is the rescale function for the longitudinal profile. So for the profile view, here are some different options that are available to the user. So users can define any X and Y scale for the profiles, and they can rescale actually different elements within the profile view. So for all of these improvements that we will see today, we will also make a live presentation. So I will go into the Bricscat, and we will check out how this works. So first of all, I have a longitudinal profile here in Bricscat 25. And if we go to the profile ribbon tab, we have a new function or a new command here under the draw profile view to rescale it. So once we open it, it will actually read the scale of the active profile view, so for the active alignment, and you will see it here. And then you can change to any number you wish. So let's say we want to make it larger, so twice the length of existing profile, and this will actually save all the or store all the data that you have in the profile view and then just reinsert it. So actually you don't have any limitations here, so you could actually also use like 1-to-1 ratio, which means that 1 meter in real life will be 1 unit in cat. So you can actually set it as you want. And then if you look at it, we have actually different options here underneath. So the scale function actually works for all the graphical elements in the profile view and also for the rubric. So all the data that is within the rubrics will be scaled or moved to the right position. But then with the additional settings, we also have an option to scale user elements. So this means any polyline or any circles, blocks, hatches, or different things that maybe the user draws in the profile view. So for example, something like this. And it's not created by the CGS commands or in Plateia or Ferrovia or Aquaterra. So this doesn't include any information that this is a Plateia profile view, but we have added this option so that you can also scale this kind of elements. So this will actually check all the elements that are within the graphical part of the longitudinal profile and scale them. So if we check this, let's say we want to make it back to 1000, we will say scale user elements and click OK. So this again will save all the data and redraw it in the newer scale. So you can see that also the user element was changed. So here we have 2 additional settings. So we also have an option to resize user blocks or to resize user text. So once you want to maybe enlarge the profile view, you maybe also want to make the texts more visible or make them bigger or something like that. So that is what this is. So we will check this, and then also we have an option to scale the rubrics guides. So this means that all the rubrics beneath the profile view will also be enlarged or get smaller based on the change of the scale. So maybe let's do one more thing. So let's check also the other options. So we can also maybe fill out some data here that we are missing. So maybe we can use the label slopes command to draw the slopes. Then we can maybe do the ditches, so left and right ditch, for example, something like that, just to give us some more information here. So something like that maybe. Then we can also draw maybe the pipes and the manholes. So for example, I will use the pipe, the diameter 300. And I will also maybe draw the manholes. And maybe also label all of these things in the rubrics part. So as you can see underneath, all of that is labeled. Then we can also maybe do the road edges. So in the newest version, we also fixed how this works. So now it's actually doing all the curves and all the labeling within the rubrics. And now we can also label or rescale this to some other scale, for example. So we can change only the horizontal scale, or we can change the vertical scale, or both at the same time. So let's check the other two options that we have here. So resize user text and blocks. So let's presume that we have kind of a bridge here. So I will just label it in like an easy way here, maybe something like that. And I will use text element. So let's do bridge here. And maybe we can make it a bit bigger so that we can see. And then also maybe we can also use multi-line text, so M text. And let's say here we go from the P14 sample line or cross section to P19. And I will just move this justification to the maybe top center here and make it a bit bigger. Okay. So now when we use this command, so if we don't use the scale user elements, this means that this will not be taken into account for rescaling. And as you can see, this is not changed. So if you have any other elements that were drawn but are not for this profile view, then this should not be used. But if you're drawing in the profile view, then you need to check this option. So with resize user text, this will actually check how much the scale is changing. So in this case, this will be twice as large. So also the text will be twice as big. So let's do that. And here you have to be careful that the user elements are always like changed according to the insertion point. So here you can see that before it was 1 text height and now it's 2. Then it's the same thing with the user blocks. So let's see how this works. So I have 2 blocks prepared here that I will copy into my drawing. So this is just a quick representation of a bridge, for example. So this is a block reference for a block, and we can also maybe copy this junction. Maybe you have a block with a name or with the height, with some kind of information that you also use it for profile view. So for example, something like that we label here is a junction, for example. So once we use rescale, we have to check the scale user elements so that this bridge and junction will be moved to their correct position. Okay, let's do that. So as you can see, now this block was moved, but it's not the correct size. So it's not according to the scale. So for that, we will use that other option to resize user blocks. So let's do that. So now as you can see, the distance is okay. And also you can see that the scale of the block will change. So this was, as you can see, lengthened, so the X scale was changed. But here in this block, you can see that also the X scale was changed, but not the Y, so it's like distorted. So in this kind of situation, or in this kind of blocks that include texts or some kind of information, it's better to have them scale uniformly. So what we can do here is go into the block edit of this block, and we can say that we want to change this to scale uniformly. So we click yes and save block. So now once we rescale this will not be distorted anymore, but it will be twice as big according to the resizing. So as you can see, now this is scaled 2 times in each direction, but we can also make it smaller like that. So this is for the blocks. Now we can also change the rubrics height. So these are all predefined in the current table. So if we check this, we can see that all of these rubrics have their own height defined. So we could go and maybe change all of those by hand, like to be twice as big or twice as small. But we can also use this option here that we have. So let's do scale rubrics height. So this means that if we change the X scale to be twice as big, also the rubric height will be twice as big. So this is only for the rubric height, but not the content within. So this is also something that will be probably in the next version. But for now, this is only for the height of the rubrics. For the content, you need to change in the settings or use some other commands here. So yeah, this is it for the rescale function. This is also available in the menus. So if you will look for them, all of those are in the 31D5 or similar commands in Ferrovia and Aquaterra.